Hello, how are you guys? Good, all right. Well, I am here today to talk to you guys about an idea that my partner and I have thought about for one of Indianapolis's biggest issues. So it's an idea that we're calling Cibus. So before we begin talking about the idea, I really need to outline this issue that Indianapolis faces. So in Indianapolis, healthy food access is a real issue for over 300,000 residents here in Marion County. And first of all, Indianapolis is ranked the worst in the nation for having food deserts. Does anybody know, let me get a raise of hands for those who know what a food desert is, if you've heard of that. Okay, so maybe like half of you. So basically, a food desert is and I really want you to think about the fact that Indianapolis is ranked #1 in food deserts, because it's very serious. But basically, a food desert is an area, a neighborhood, where local produce, like fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, or healthy food in general, is just simply not available. So where all they have, there's no grocery stores, there's no farmers markets, and all they have available is fast food. Maybe they get their food at like the Dollar General or wherever. And so, yeah, clearly this is a huge issue because this results in a lot of these people who live in these areas, who are obviously living in poor neighborhoods, are eating like this when they should be eating more like this. So another reason that this is clearly an issue is because people who live in these areas who are, I know, a lovely picture. Those who live in these neighborhoods suffer from obesity, they suffer from dietary disorders like diabetes or heart disease, among a long laundry list of other disorders, diseases, and cancers. And so this is why it's something that I've really honed on. And when I say that Indianapolis is ranked #1, it's because we literally have the worst access to these grocery stores and food markets. So basically, this is what we're seeing. A lot of people who live in food deserts are going to get their food here, where food is cheap and affordable and easily accessible to them, because that's what's available to them. They lack transportation. They don't have vehicles because they're living in poor neighborhoods. And so walking to a grocery store that may be 10 minutes away is just simply not an option, because you can't go to a grocery store and then, especially if you're an older person, for example, and then carry back all of your groceries on a 10-minute walk. It's just not something that is possible. So, people who are living in these areas end up eating foods like this. So here I want to show you an example. New York City is ranked #1 in having the best healthy food access, compared to Indianapolis, which is ranked the worst. So here we can see that 72% of the population in New York City live within a 5-minute walking distance of some kind of healthy food access, whereas Indianapolis, only 5%. And that's kind of a crazy number. Like, almost nobody lives within a 5-minute walk to a grocery store, which is just appalling. And so here's a map that I have put up. Here's New York. And you can see all this green is all the healthy food access that they have. So if you live anywhere here in the city, you have good chances of having access to healthy food, whereas in Indianapolis it's just spots. There's almost nothing there. So another issue, so moving away from food deserts, a lot of people who are students or the workforce here are commuters. So they're going to and from school or to and from work every day. And so unless you're packing your lunch, most of these individuals are reliant on whatever food's available here in the city. And some people will say, well, people still have the option to make their own lunches. Sure, but that brings me to my next point, where a lot of people just don't have time to cook. So I know that a lot of people in this room can probably feel the struggle when it comes to having time to just cook for your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If I were to ask somebody in this room to cook for yourself lunch, dinner, breakfast every single day, it's just not going to happen. We're all very busy people. So clearly this is an issue. So people don't have time. In addition, some people, even if they do have time, they don't have the skill set. Not a lot of people know how to cook. And then also, if you have time, you may just be exhausted. People are exhausted, and let's be honest, we're all a little lazy. So we don't always want to cook for ourselves. So basically, the big conclusion here is that Indianapolis has very little access to healthy food. And this forces everybody to eat fast food on way too often of a regular basis. So now I want you to join, everybody in this room, I want you to join me in thinking of solutions. So I'm going to bring up a solution, but I want you to also think how we might be able to address these issues. And so by doing so, I want you to think, how may Indianapolis residents better access healthy food? So I really like this infographic because it outlines 7 steps that we can possibly consider in terms of how this solution can be addressed. So on the level of the community over here, growing food locally is something that a lot of people are doing in Indianapolis. That's a good start. Also developing alternative retail outlets, so like farmers markets, as I mentioned before. The more farmers markets we have, the more access to food people can start to have as well. In terms of food access, the level of access, we can replace convenient with more nutritious options, so more quality options. We can also think of like how we can integrate new grocery stores into these regions. We can also think about transportation, because without transportation, they can't get food. Even if they're not within a 5-minute walking distance, if there was better transportation, then individuals would be able to use that to access these healthier foods. And then empowerment. I think I'm really big on education, so I think empowering the people, teaching them how to cook, for example, or maybe even looking at nutritional education, because I know a lot of people in the United States do not have a very good background on nutritional education, so maybe something like this could be a solution. So all of this information is just to help define your way of thinking, so we can think of how to solve these issues. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you a solution that I'm come up with. So before I present my solution, I want you to kind of think of something. In Indianapolis, there's a lot of people who cook. Some of these people may already be professional cooks. Some of them may just be stay-at-home moms who cook for their family on a regular basis. Either way, they know how to cook, they're good at it, they have time to. And so just keep that in the back of your mind. And think, if only there was a way to connect these cooks to the people of Indianapolis. Maybe that could be a possible solution, which is what I'm going to bring up. So this is my partner right here to the left, Ruth Dakar. You may know him. He used to go to Indianapolis. He transferred to Vanderbilt, so he's currently at Vanderbilt and will be here today. But me and Ruth have been working together for about a year now. About a year ago, we went to a hackathon where we came up with our idea, which I'll get to here in a minute, called Cibus. So basically, Cibus is a smartphone application. I don't have my phone on me, but it's a smartphone app, so it's an app on the smartphone that empowers people. So it basically it aims to address nutrition and health by connecting people who cook from home with the users. So essentially, you on the app can get on the app, and there will be cooks who are local, basically cooks within your neighborhood, who are trained by us, by our staff, and then they can cook and provide a possible solution. And so when we were at this hackathon, we thought, like, if only we could develop some kind of app of some kind, or some kind of system to help facilitate this flow between basically a home cook and the people using these apps, and maybe, just maybe, we could solve some of these issues that I outlined. So, and also creating jobs for local cooks. So it would be really good on the economy. And a lot of these people can just cook whenever they want. So here is how it works. And I kind of want you to use, everybody knows what Uber is, right? Does everybody know what Uber is? Think of Uber as like a really good analogy, because it kind of works that way in terms of looks and feel, except it's for food. So here's you, you're on your app, you're hungry, and you have the option, you can cook, or you can order a dish now, or you can order it for maybe like next Friday at 9 if you have like it's like 7 o'clock, you have a big dinner plan. You can order it now or later. You pay after you've entered your credit card information, and then the chef makes your meal, these local chefs. And then you have the option of either having it delivered or pick up, and then you get to be a happy cook or a happy eater, and then the cook gets paid, and so they get to be happy as well. So this is our idea. This is what we're trying to think of in terms of getting food to all these different places without like building these grocery stores and building farmers markets, which I'm all about, but this is something that we thought would be something a little bit more easy, and everybody's on their phones all the time would be very accessible to them. Okay, so basically here's our progress report. This is kind of where we are, where we need to go still. So we do have a completed prototype. We're still kind of working out the kinks, but we do have a prototype. We have a functional website, so you can go to thinkcibus.com and kind of get an idea of what we're about and how we work. We are a corporate entity, so we're Cibus Technologies LLC as of recently, so that's a really big milestone that I'm proud of. And then we have a legal team, Rachel Story. But what we still need is an extensive network. We need cooks, right? We need people like you who support the idea, who can help get the word out there for us. And we also need a programming team. So we do have a few people in mind, but we need to get that fully developed and on the App Store. And ideally, we're kind of expected to launch around fall 2017. That's kind of when we're forcing ourselves to have this done by. So, how can you help us move forward? This is our website. If you were to go to thinkcibus.com, this is what you would see. And here, this is your home. You could scroll down. If you scroll down, you would see like a bunch of information about us. But if you were to go over here and click this Support Us button, it works. Then you will see a page like this. It says Interested. If you're interested in our idea, show us your support by filling out the form below. We really need your help to make this possible. And all you have to do is name, email, and basically we'll give you updates on when this app is developed. And it'll give us more of an idea of who's interested and how many people are interested. So the more people we have interested, the more people we can mobilize and basically have behind us, the more likely we are to get funding, the more likely we are to get this app out there and possibly change how Indianapolis looks at healthy food access. So, going forward, I need all of you guys to think about this issue, be aware of the issue. Just simply make sure that you know that this is something that's going on in Indianapolis, because the fact that Indianapolis is the worst in the nation for food deserts is a pretty significant statement. And you should know this if you live in Indianapolis. Second, you need to think about solutions. Just think about think about the 7 steps that I brought to your attention, and think of how maybe you could go home, or maybe in a week from now, or a month from now, or a year from now, how maybe you could make some kind of decision to help solve these problems. But most importantly, I need you guys to think Cibus. Thank you.